Selam Aleik. Good morning. Dobar dan. Good day to you, mate.
Good morning, good afternoon as well. It
Yeah,
is
man.
almost 2 p.m. here in Bosnia.
It's the
We have
extended morning.
extended morning. Well, they say the Baraka or the blessed hours are in the morning hours. Well, I consider these hours my morning hours as I come to work at U.S. time. So kind
You
of
have double the blessings then. You have
double
two
the
blessings every day.
right. What if I don't use the Bosnian one? Then I can say, okay, it's it's American one now.
We had we had a thing when with I don't know if you guys had it over there when cell phones were first becoming big. Some cell phone companies introduced rollover minutes. So like you had 500 minutes a month, and then whatever you don't use rolls over to the next month. And that was pretty neat.
Minutes of
Um,
what? Of talking with people?
yeah. How many minutes you can talk to people. So you'd have 500 minutes a month, for example, if that's the plan you chose. And then if you only use 400, the next month you had 600 minutes.
Yeah, we had similar ones. Oh, we had similar ones.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, how far that's come. Like I remember not so long ago, like maybe 15 years. I mean, for some people, I guess that's a lifetime ago, and that's how you know you're aging when 15
Mhm.
years is is not long ago. But I mean, in terms of civilization, in terms of humanity, 15 years is not big. You know, we like how different that was, the cell phone world, where the nights
Completely
and
different.
weekends, was that a thing where you had free talking on nights and weekends?
Um, I cannot recall.
Man, you said this before, like how Americans are the kings of like marketing and advertising and making everything into like a
They are.
ceremony.
They are.
So nights and weekends where after 9 p.m. it was free talking. But then what does an American company do? One comes out and says, "Well, we offer nights and weekends starting at 7 p.m." And then
Of
everyone's like,
course.
"Ooh."
Of course. Yeah, I remember. I remember my first smartphone, LG Cookie 2010. It was actually my first phone, and my it was immediately smartphone. So that's
What a
how young
guy.
I
Just
am.
skip the dumb stuff.
Yeah, I was 15 years old, so I guess that's the proper age to get a phone first time. I don't know. What about now? People, the kids get phones at the age of 6.
I don't know, man. My wife and I discussed this. You know, we have kids that are growing, oldest being 10, and that age, you know, she's saying 16, I think. I'm saying we're likely not gonna be able to hold out until then, you know, because the theory of life and parenting is one thing, but the real is different. I remember before I had kids, I was one of those people that said I'd never let my kids play, you know, just on a, give them an iPad and shush them up.
Make me a second one as well for the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah. Um, it's just conveniences, man. Conveniences are so difficult to resist.
Yeah, thing
Um,
is, we're not even sure what how's that gonna affect our children because we don't have prior experience. We
it's
are
not
the
good.
ones that are we're the ones that are learning
Yeah,
with experience. So there's no generation before us that went through this mobile internet era.
yeah. We are the generation that the side effects may include will be based on.
Yes. Yeah.
I was actually talking to a friend last night about AI and the effect it'll have on society. And I was saying that it's going to make us dumber. And he said, no, it's not. It's going to, you know, enable us to do more. And I think it will. I mean, it will enable us to do more, but at the same time, individually and as a society, the, you know, the brain capacity of individuals is going to go down.
I agree.
But then calculators, have they made us dumber? Kind of. But have they helped us advance as a society and have they helped mathematics advance? They have.
They have. They
So
have.
how do you process? Is it the same or is there any core
Or
difference between a
there are
calculator? an AI.
There are probably segments where we will be dumber, and then there are segments where we will be unlike anything in the history of mankind. I think the calculator is a good example. I mean, there used to be in our generation and generations before people that would be able to memorize whatever 478 times 543, and they would know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, no one cares about that because it's
No one
irrelevant
cares.
completely. No one cares. And we're dumber in that department, right? But we are not dumber in the other areas of where we use computer in our advantage to actually
Right.
whatever.
So how do you balance
Create.
that? Is it a net gain? I
I
guess it is, right?
think it is, but we'll find out. We're actually going through this right now and learning how it affects everything. So we don't know what the outcome will be. You heard Elon Musk said the other day that by 2025 probably AI will be smarter by any human being, right? That's insane to hear, right? This information is not knowledge. Information is information,
Mm,
knowledge is knowledge. But he is claiming that the knowledge will be higher than information. Right now, AI has more information than any human being. That's not,
mm-hmm.
you ask it whatever, they will respond. But knowledge, by 2025, he said, going to be smarter than any human being. By 2027, by any human being ever combined. He said combined, I think. That's just insane,
What
man.
does that even mean? All
I don't know.
human beings ever combined?
Yeah.
I mean, the
Uh,
top two smartest human beings ever are probably as smart as the rest of us combined. So,
maybe.
man, it's people always reference like, well, there was the Industrial Revolution and there was different revolutions and man just adapts and but I'm like torn, man. Like I don't know. I don't know what I think is gonna happen because this is different. Like there's never been something that's changed everything. Like it's gonna touch every segment, every single career will be impacted. Um,
You're
there's
gonna allow
always
them
gonna
to put a
be,
chip into your brain.
hopefully not, but depends on, how
I'm not
quickly I can
not
check
doing
out
that,
on
man.
Amazon or something. If I can just think of a product and then
Man, I'm not doing that. I'm building myself a a shelter, and buy myself like two guns and big ones.
move to Pennsylvania and join the Amish.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe,
Uh,
maybe my name is gonna be Zakaria or Zachariah Ezekiel or something like that.
oh man, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's a crazy world we're headed down. Um, when you throw in religious prophecies and then you throw in everything going on and then you get into like how close to all of this stuff are we, man? Because it's
Man,
insane. It is.
there is a televangelist out there right now on the stage as we're talking, like talking about Armageddon and stuff, and everything is going down. Should bend the knee to the Lord and everything else. So there is someone out there right now prophesizing that everything will be done by. But that's been the case forever. Like in the last 1,000 years, you had people coming in and saying, the end is near and everything else.
Yeah.
But it's never nearer.
Yeah, it's never been here, yeah. So the funniest thing we both experienced when it comes to that was seeing a person preaching, calling people to return to Jesus,
To
uh,
repent.
to repent for their sins and to return to Jesus inside of the Vatican. I mean, it literally like inside where the Pope, when we went to Rome, where the Pope waves from the balcony, there's a lady standing, like feet away from there, essentially, and yelling, carrying a sign saying "Return to Jesus." Like, I thought that was funny.
It was.
So the other thing, man, that we were speaking about before we launched the recording was attitude in life, right? We have our Royal Blue Services BHX book club where every month we collectively as a team read a book. It's about personal professional development. It's books that are aimed, that are, meant to make us all better individuals, grow in that realm, and also obviously better professionals and better dispatchers, customer care people, and general business professionals. This month's book is called Tribal Leadership. It's just kind of breaking down different stages that different companies and teams and societies and little mini tribes um, exist in. And we were kind of talking about an observation we had too with just the words and the verbiage and the attitude that people have and how it seems to affect, even how
Right.
they do.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. There, people are everything pretty much in life. In my experience, I might be wrong, is dual. So you have one side and the other side of the coin. You have negative, you have positive. People are either negative or either positive. I know that some people will come and say, "Oh no, I'm just a realist." In
Mm,
my opinion, in my experience, there's either a positive or a negative attitude or perception or way of understanding the life. It's and it's usually that attitude that we have um, affects our success, affects our understanding of life, and affects our happiness as well. Here's the
yeah,
thing. In my experience, drivers, and I'm not just saying right now to moan about anyone out there in particular, but drivers that are positive about every load they get, understanding that sometimes one will be bad and then you'll have three good loads, and but having that understanding, but still being positive. In the end, they earn better. They're happier as drivers. Somehow everything aligns to them.
hmm,
Whereas someone who comes with the negative attitude, constantly moaning, constantly complaining, constantly being disappointed with this and that, usually is just skipping companies. Load one is not good. Panther is not good. Bolt is not good. BHX is not good. So who's good in the end?
right.
And that's the question. How that attitude affects our daily life, and if that visualization of life where we say, okay, everything will be fine, this is a good load, this is a fine
Yeah.
situation, how that affects the general performance and happiness.
One of my favorite little lesson stories that I've heard of is kind of ties with that. There's two men. Um, there's two men and they meet and they say, you know what, man, the whole world is corrupt. Our country is the only country in this world that's not corrupt, that's honest. The next week they meet and they say, you know what? One says, I've thought about it. It's not even our country, man. Most of our country's corrupt like the rest of the world. It's just our city that's actually not corrupt. And next week they meet and the other one goes, you know what, man? That was a good point last week. I've thought about it further again. It's not even our city that's not corrupt because there's a lot of corruption in our city. It's actually our just our little neighborhood that's not corrupt. And the next week they meet and then the one goes, you know what, man? I've thought about it. I don't trust you either. You're corrupt as well. Right? So there's
Right.
people that just have this mentality where they're always going to look for a negative in something first. And then there's been drivers that it's amazing, and it's such a beautiful interaction and experience when every single time you talk to them, they're just thanking God, and then they're positive, and or they're just positive in general or whatever. But I mean, we have some people that everybody in the office genuinely loves speaking to because every time you speak with that individual, it's a positive interaction. And that's priceless. And that positive mentality and outlook makes it easier for those drivers to go through days and weeks and bad loads and good loads when they just have this mentality of like, listen, I'm thankful for what I got, and we roll from there. Because there are also the opposite, man. There are drivers that if you give them a load that has 9 good qualities and 1 bad quality, they're gonna lead with whining about that 1 bad quality. And I mean, I say whining because that's at the end of the day what it is, man. With all due respect to everybody, I whine sometimes, you whine, we all do it. But when you call someone and you say, hey man, we got great news. You're in a really bad area. We got you booked. It's actually a pretty good paying load. It's going to a good area. You've got plenty of time. It is a little bit on the heavy side. It's not over your weight, but it's kind of close to the weight. And they go, oh man, well, you all guys always do this, and you guys don't care about this, and it's just such a heavy interaction. And one of the things I tell new drivers is one thing that'll determine how much money you'll make is your relationship with your dispatchers. Now that sounds like it's something bad, but here's the thing, man.
Right.
Relationship with dispatchers means dispatchers more free to quickly react on their feet and make a decision to book you or not book you in a split second that sometimes they have to make. Okay, so we have 2 drivers. We have Mad Mike and we have Happy Harry, right? And Mad Mike is mad about everything. He's one of those people, unless it's a perfect load, 10 out of 10, he's gonna make the dispatcher feel like a dumbass for booking it. And we have those. We have people that go, oh man, you guys don't care. What were you thinking? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? And you got Happy Harry, who whatever you give him, he trusts our dispatch team. He trusts us as a company. He trusts that we wouldn't take a bad load. So whatever load we give him, he ends up, being showing gratitude and being cool with. Well, when a broker responds to a bid and says, "Hey, I've got a $50 lower offer. If you want, I can give it to you." If it's Happy Harry, we're gonna just jump on that. We're gonna say, "Yep, send it over. I want to book it," and then he's booked. If it's Mad Mike, the dispatcher's not gonna be confident enough to make that decision. They're gonna say, "Well, give me a minute. Let me call my driver." And as soon as you say that, the broker or the customer is going to move on because they don't have, I mean, they're covering hundreds of loads a day sometimes. They don't have time to sit there and wait for BHX to confirm with the driver every single time. So that's really what it's about. I mean, it's not like, oh, you're the favorite driver, so therefore, you're going to get preferential treatment.
Yeah.
But
It's not about just drivers as well, and just in general, what you said
yeah,
resonates to every human being out there. It's just like that.
I mean, we know people that are positive, man, and you walk up to them and they await you with a smile and they greet you happily and they make you feel good, and naturally we gravitate towards those people. And then we also know people that as soon as they get their hands on you, they're gonna uh suffocate you with their negativity, and you run away from those people. So absolutely, man. And really, I mean, with delivering these daily updates, let's take that lesson, man. It is what it is. Everything's a blessing from above. We've been coming on here and we've been just delivering bad news upon bad news with some of these things. But, going forward, we're going to deliver all of these updates with positivity, with gratitude, I mean, everyone has different beliefs, but with our belief, gratitude to God for what He's given us and the loads that we were able to book, and then the money that our drivers were able to make. And not to say to become complacent. Every day we are going to look to ways to improve things and show empathy to those who were not booked. But I mean, just coming on here every day and focusing on what we didn't do, it goes against what we just talked about.
Indeed, that's a good point.
So, without further ado, let's dive into some business talk. How was yesterday,
Business talk.
Monita? How many loads were booked?
Yes, 38,
38 loads. How many drivers were booked?
35. Some of them got
How many
off
drivers
early.
were available? I looked this up before the meeting.
Tell me.
Well, 49 from what I could see today. This is based on, yeah, 49 should be pretty accurate. The rest of the fleet were either booked on a load all day or finished their load in the second half of the day. So 49 who were available from at least noon or before yesterday, right? If someone became available at 4 p.m. yesterday, we do our best to book him, of course, but we're not really count him as one of the available drivers when looking at who we booked and who we didn't. So 35 of the 49 we had were booked. The average driver pay was, let me see, 780, I believe. Yeah, the average driver pay was 780, and our bid win ratio was 7.4%. So as far as the bid win ratio, as you guys can see, I mean, the rates that we're bidding, we are not winning very many loads. So we're going to continue to work on the rates and perhaps lower those by a few pennies today. Any
Yeah,
other?
that's what I would do. At least, I mean, at least from certain areas where we struggle the most. Yesterday we managed to mainly book drivers out of problematic areas that we mentioned throughout the week, such as Quebec and Texas. By noon, some of them. But still, some problematic areas down south. So we'll have to look at that. Um, yeah, I don't know operational issues. Just checked before the meeting. Nothing really specific that happened except for us not booking a couple of guys, more than a couple of guys. Um, working on
Does
resolving that.
yesterday our drivers declined 377 opportunities to bid, and as a company, we placed 416 bids, which is pretty crazy, man. It's like 40% of opportunities were turned down by our drivers. Um, you can't have your cake and eat it. You know, at the end of the day, times are what they are with loads. The industry is in the stage it's in. And as a driver, you either are content with making $1,000, $1,500 a week, or we got to update our strategy a bit. But from what I'm seeing here, we are declining way too many opportunities on the driver side. The dispatch, I mean, we are bidding on the majority of loads that come through. The only time we decline an opportunity is if it picks up in like 2 days and it delivers in 3 days or something weird. Or if it's just a load that doesn't make sense, like 8 a.m. out of Michigan, there's a load that picks up at the end of the day. We're not going to keep somebody waiting around. But as drivers, there are plenty of opportunities that people are declining, in hopes of getting something better. And then the day passes and then they don't get anything better. So that's really, I mean, one of the biggest areas that I feel like we can improve immediately and hopefully lead to some additional loads being booked. Um, any operational things?
Nope, I just mentioned earlier that nothing specific happened that noteworthy.
Yeah, cool. Um, yeah, that's it then, man. Anything else you want to share? Any words of wisdom? Cannot forget about the words of wisdom by Munir.
Well, I used them actually in the beginning of that was the prepared words of wisdom.
That was the words of wisdom.
Yeah, the one that your attitude determines your direction. The whole
Oh
topic
man,
that we had, that I started. That's
that's
the
good.
whole thing. I wanted to
That's
speak
good.
about that.
There was such great wisdom that I didn't even see what was happening.
Right.
I got fandoogled. All right, man. Let's have a good
Right.
day. Inshallah. We said 50 yesterday. We were only 12 short. Out of those, the 377 declines, maybe there were 12 loads hiding somewhere. So today, on these morning phone calls that we make, and you know what we're actually gonna do? Let's go ahead and reach out to everyone today. Split it up amongst our dispatch team And just, I mean, kind of echo this message of, we are seeing a lot of people declining opportunities. Be mindful of that. You can do whatever you want to do. You're free to do it, but understand, the way that things are in the industry right now. If you want to stay busy, if you want to make money, you got to be active.
Righty.
All right, we'll conclude there. Salam alaikum.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Alaikum salam.